time for 7 First Alert weather.
Even I woke up this morning, first thing I do, check the phone, seeing all the pictures from the north end of Boise and into the highlands, also up near Hidden Springs into Avamore, some really high totals of wet, heavy snow. Those bands were able to set up just perfectly over some spots, but not all of southern Idaho saw that kind of snow or that dumping of snow. A half an inch reported at Boise Airport. It is a record for snowfall for this date. Avamore with 8 to 9 inches. Morgan mentioned 11 inches up toward Horseshoe Bend. Bogus Basin with 19. Donnelly with about 8 or 9. Similar story in Cascade, but then McCall just kind of didn't really see much throughout the day today. Sometimes of sun and sometimes of snow showers, but it had a hard time accumulating. And at least from this time lapse, it looks a lot more like spring than like winter, sort of a flip-flop. The mountains look like spring, but then here in the valley, it sure looks like winter weather is holding on for us. This is the culprit. This is our system making its way through. As I mentioned before, it was just a really perfect setup to set up those beautiful, big, boisterous bands over some locations, but not everyone saw it. And most of the Treasure Valley, especially the lower end of the Treasure Valley, just saw rain. And through the Meridian area, it was some wet snow that didn't accumulate. So much colder air that's moving in behind this. So even as we clear the skies tonight, temperatures will be falling back. Not that it got all that warm today either. 44 for a high in Boise, which could very likely be a new record cold high for the day. The old record cold high temperature, 47 degrees, set back in 1908. So we're setting records today for cold and snowy. Still seeing some active weather stretching through, coming in out of the southwest and moving to the northeast. I'm watching this band in particular right here, moving through about Jordan Valley and trying to track to the northeast. So still a possibility for a quick little sprinkle, shower, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder through the rest of this evening. Then it's all about clearing the skies and cooling our temperatures off into the overnight hours. And for early tomorrow morning, it is cold. It is more like a March morning than a May morning. 31 degrees in Boise, 27 in Mountain Home. Temperatures could get as cold as 26 through the Snake River Plain, and that's why the National Weather Service has issued this freeze warning, which basically means the growing season has begun and you may have sensitive plants in the ground. And so it's what I like to call a plan ahead before you head to bed kind of night. Just make sure that any sensitive vegetation that you are worried about, you either cover them up, you bring them inside. This is a night, and tomorrow night is a good time to worry about the sensitive vegetation. So through the day tomorrow, it's drier. We get to see more sunshine, calm wind as well, but it takes a while to really warm temperatures up. We'll get there, though, into next weekend. Magic Valley forecast low to mid 50s up into the central mountains, looking for maybe a spot little sprinkle shower or a snow shower tomorrow. A similar story for the west central mountains, but not looking for additional accumulation. I think the party's over as far as what we saw earlier today. Lower Treasure Valley in the mid to upper 50s, and a similar story for the upper Treasure Valley with a high of about 55 in store for Boise. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast. And I also posted on my Facebook page this morning that, yeah, we're experiencing the snow this morning, but how about a week from today, we're pushing near 80 degrees. So from snow to sunshine and our first experience of summer and getting the pool out in the backyard.
So weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know if anybody was excited. Was anybody excited this morning when they woke up?
Nope.
But personally, I was not.
Judging by what I've seen on social media,
Yeah.
I'd say no.
And I had downed trees in my backyard, just really not ideal.
Yeah.
A little too late.
Yes, I know, but it does help. It does help.
It does.
And we keep saying
Yes.
this is a good scenario for the current drought situation. And so while it doesn't solve the problem, every little bit helps.
The
reminding
big,
ourselves.
beautiful, boisterous bands of moisture.
Oh my goodness.
How about that?
Impressive.